Hello everyone and welcome back to the return of Cricket Captain 2024. That's right, we are back for another Cricket Captain series on the channel. It has been a long time. I've been inspired by Rob, who has a YouTube channel linked down in the description below. He's been playing a really cool story mode for Cricket Captain 2024, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to give that sort of story idea a go. We're going to try and speed run our way through a New Zealand career mode before Cricket Captain 2025 drops. So, I'm going to do an international career mode, as New Zealand, of course, but only one restriction. I'm not touching the other two formats. We're going to leave that for the Road to Cricket Glory, which I originally did. I'm going to leave that alone, just focusing on, let's get New Zealand back to a World Test Championship team again. Let's do that. So we're going to start first class stuff only. Really excited to play this game again. The style of the series basically is going to be, I'm going to play the games off screen and then update you on basically what happens either after the innings, maybe at the end of the innings, or after the entire game as a whole. You'll get the gist of it as we go along pretty quickly here, but let's see what sort of squad we're going to pick for Afghanistan in our first test match of the series. I'm going to select this squad. Ravindra is 1 day for bruising, so we'll see how that goes. For some reason, we can only select 13 against Afghanistan, even though it's away from home. I guess it's fine because it's one-off test match. Look, Will O'Rourke's obviously great, but he broke his finger in this game at the moment, so he's out. And weirdly enough, Kyle Jamieson is technically eligible to be selected. For now, I'm going to leave him out as if we can't select him. I don't know how long that's going to continue, but let's see how that plays out, at least for this test match. Same with Trent Boult, who's a special case here, because technically in the game, he has not retired from this format, because he has unofficially retired. So we shouldn't be picking him ever again, but I guess it will depend if he ever comes back to do first-class cricket for New Zealand. For now, I guess not. It shouldn't matter too much either way, because this squad's pretty decent. We've got Ben Sears really just in for Will O'Rourke, first-class pick. Honestly, you know what? Stuff it. We're going to pick Tom Bruce as the backup. I think that's a good move for us here. There we go. That's going to round out our squad. Let's see how it shapes up then against Afghanistan. Okay, so here we go at Lucknow, playing our only test match. We're ranked 5 in the world, starting the series off. Afghanistan ranked 12th. We have the Test Championship, of course, which we are currently sitting 50% on. Again, look, if you go off real life, how it's going to play out, it's going to be pretty hard for us to make it in this first cycle, but nonetheless, we play on. We've been knocked out of the T20 World Cup, and Pakistan ended up winning it. And just to show where we finished, 1-3. We lost to either Papua New Guinea or Uganda. So that's pretty disappointing stuff there. Whereas Pakistan beat Australia in the T20 World Cup final by 67 runs to lift the title for just the second time since 2009. Well, unlike the real-life version of this test match, which was completely rained out without a ball being bowled, looks like a great 5 days in store for New Zealand versus Afghanistan here. It should be a very historic test match, of course. First test match between these two nations. And we've gone with this lineup. I think it's pretty standard, really. Gone Will Young at 4. I guess I could have tried Tom Bruce, but I'm interested to see how Will Young actually performs at number 4, given the fact that he's opened many times in his career. He deserves a go, at least, in this test match at number 4, just to see how he's going to play out. Got Latham and Conway opening up. Otherwise, a pretty standard list, honestly. The only change, really, is that Matt Henry is in for Will O'Rourke. And I've also pushed Matt Henry above Tim Southee for the batting because he averages way higher and deserves, rightly so, to be at number 9 for that reason. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and see how we're going to play out. 3 and a bit stars. Not a great side, you have to say, against Afghanistan, who are 2.5. They do have Rashid Khan in the mix as well, which makes me very nervous. Here's just the call, and we've won the toss. So we're going to have a bat first. Let's see how we bat. Ooh, we are favourites to win this test match, but Afghanistan's still in with an 18% chance. Well. New Zealand's batting woes, real life, aren't as much of a trouble as in this game. I do think we're missing Ravindra. That doesn't help our cause here. Devon Conway does get a nice 20, which is nice because he's completely battling for form, as we know. Although in this game, apparently, getting 60, 70, 80. Not a problem. He gets a nice 20. Just lots of starts. No one really kicks on. Blundell top scores with 40 off 79. Satner stranded for 34, which does not help our cause either. 8 wickets to spin. 2 to the pacer up front, but 8 wickets otherwise to Rashid and Zahir Khan here, who take 4 for 64 and 4 for 63. And we're just blown away. Jeepers, what are we going to do from here? Okay, not bad. In the end, 239 all out. They do take a 22-run lead. Had a few starts from Gurbaz, Zadran, and Rashid Khan, who actually got 42 as well. I struggled to kind of use Satner and Phillips in the right manner, and I tried to use Phillips for 3 overs, and it was disastrous, to be honest. But Ajaz Patel, 4 for 80. He was very good. Matt Henry and Southey did the damage. 2 for Southey, 3 for Henry, and 239 is not too bad. I'm not sure what the conditions are like. Let's take a quick look. Bounce average, pitch average. What is the game state right now? We're back in front, 70%. Predicted inning score of 342. Good work, Glenn Phillips, 57 off 100. Just shepherd the tail. 280 is the lead, 302 all out. It was looking pretty dicey, I have to say, at some stage in that innings. A lot of starts again, that middle order. Devon Conway, first ball of the innings, so... Kane, 25. Young, 35. Mitchell was aggressive, 58 off 145. Tom Blundell, 33 as well. But Glenn Phillips was the star there because all of our tail-enders made less than 10. Look at that. 37 runs we eked out for that last wicket. Good partnerships, though, from Latham and Kane. The predictor gives us the advantage, but not by much. Can we defend 281? Or will Afghanistan upset us to begin our Asia tour and to create history for themselves? Oh, goodness me. Well, Malik goes bang. He gets 159 with Zadran 72. We had them under all sorts at one stage. What, 3 for 72? Goodness me, on track for sure, but then they just took the game away. Also, Malik got dropped. Ajaz Patel dropped them on about 100 to really what would have possibly turned the game late for us. And instead, Ajaz Patel ends up 1 for 109. He also got very lucky, I have to say. 5 catchable shots, 4 plays and misses. A lot of chances there. And we go down to Afghanistan by 6 wickets. Well, if there was any reason to start this series, this was one of them. How did we lose to Afghanistan? How did we do that? Dear oh dear, we have a lot to make up for there. Afghanistan win the series 1-0. What an embarrassment. That is not a good way to start this save whatsoever. Lose some points off the bat. There you go. So this is what we've gone with then. The only major change from the real-life first test against Sri Lanka is Michael Bracewell in. Ravindra's going to come in for Will Young, who did pretty decent, but nothing crazy, averaging 32 across the 2 innings. Pretty different side to the one that they've put up against New Zealand in real life when you have Asalanka in the mix. No, Jayasuriya. So that is huge. We're going to be bowling first. Again, when can New Zealand win a toss in Asia? Good work from New Zealand. 245 all out Sri Lanka. Tell you what, when Kamindu Mendes does not get 100, it's a lot easier, as it turns out, to push Sri Lanka to a more competitive total. Nisanka 46, Madhushanka 54. Mendes still got 44, but it wasn't enough. Southey, 3 for 36. Very impressive there. Henry with 1. Bracewell with 1. 3 for Ajaz. 1 for Phillips and Ravindra. So wickets shared all around the park. The real question, though, is how can we build on this good start with the ball? Can we find a way with the bat to get a total of 350 plus and put some pressure on Sri Lanka in this test match? Really good batting here from New Zealand. Top staff. That was brilliant. 164 is the lead here. And there was an all-time record, actually, between New Zealand versus Sri Lanka for the 7th wicket between Phillips and Bracewell. After we pretty much did exactly what New Zealand did in the first test, got to about 250 runs for 3 wickets. We lost 2 quick wickets. It was looking really bad, like we were going to get only a 50 run, if that even, as a lead. But those two then pile on a lot of runs. In fact, the highest partnership of the whole innings was between those two, and it really gets us into a good position here. 409 on the board. Latham, another test match century, but it's been a long time since he last scored one. His 14th here against Sri Lanka, and he does have a very good record against them as well. 71.44 average here, his 5th 100 against Sri Lanka. Conway gets his first 50 in a long time as well, 70 off 136. They put on 129 for the first wicket, really set us up. Phillips, 92 of 106, great counter-attacking knock. Goes in the 90s, but great stuff there. His top test score, I want to say, yes indeed. And Bracewell also reaches his 2nd test match 50. So that's great stuff. Can New Zealand Can we have Sri Lanka pile on less than 300? Then I think we'll be in a decent position batting last. But New Zealand give away control on this test match. Nissanka is very good in this game. He gets 91 here. He sets them up. And just a lot of starts in the middle. Even Dhananjaya got lots of runs too. So this is going to be really difficult. 246 to win in the last innings. It's not as bad as we'd expect the conditions, but this is not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. The bowling was tricky. Our seamers did get 5 wickets, but cost us 225 runs between them. Phillips probably could have bowled more, I suppose, and I didn't bowl Ratchin at all, but Ajaz 3 for 60, 2 for 85 for Bracewell. It could have been better. So we're going to have to bat well in this last innings to win here. But it's giving us a really good chance to do it. 82.5%. And New Zealand going to the last day very much in control. Just 71 away. Kane and Latham put together 134 in the last innings. The pitch is turning, but surprisingly, Sri Lanka have not picked as many spinners as we would have expected. That's probably why they did a lot better in the first innings with breakthroughs than this innings here, because they've only got Akila Dhananjaya for spin. They've got 4 seamers in Sri Lanka, which is bizarre. They should know their own home conditions. Bit of a selection blunder there, and it's meant that New Zealand have got to 175 for 2, just needing 71 across the rest of day 5 here. The pitch is turning, but I guess not as much as it could be, which is good news for our batters. And Kane Williamson will take a record here as he hits that down the ground. He gets another 4th innings 100, 105 off 202 deliveries. Latham gets out for 83. Ravindra, a great 36 there, gets out towards the end. But Kane reaches, I think that's 6 4th innings hundreds, which is a world record now for him. He was tied before with Yunus Khan. He now holds the record as New Zealand actually win this first test match against Sri Lanka by 7 wickets. What an upset. Redo history for we lost this game in real life. And it's a great start to the series, 1-0. We can't lose it from here. For the second test match here, we're going to go with one change. And it's a big one. It is Tim Southee is going to be sitting out. We're going to bring in Will O'Rourke, who's not going to be the captain, but we're going to get Tom Latham to do that job instead. It just makes a little bit of sense when he's averaging 34, which is not terrible by Tim Southee's standards at his current age, but it's not amazing. Will O'Rourke's got 11 at 17 in just his 2 tests. I think it's worth giving him a go. Let's see how that plays out, though, as we take on Sri Lanka in the second test here. I will mention that this side is going to be relatively stable for a while, but I think Tom Bruce and many others like Nathan Smith will probably sneak into the side sooner rather than later, especially going on real-life results. Can we win the series outright? They have brought Jayasuriya into the mix now, so he's going to be really tough to face. They've only still got the 1 spinner there, though. Lost the toss again in Asia. Oh my goodness me. Not giving ourselves the best chance. Gonna have to bowl well in this first innings. Let's see how we go. It sees us slightly in front to begin the game on the wind predictor. 350 is their projected score, though, so that's going to be really tough. Tremendous bowling yet again, New Zealand. Fantastic. I don't know what's going on. Maybe if you don't drop catches like New Zealand did in real life, I'm not entirely sure, but we're all over them here. 59 for Karuna Ratner, 50 for Angela Matthews, 33 from Kamindu, not out. To be fair, he's doing good, but hey, we just get everyone else out, no problem. Paces clean up the tail. Ajaz Patel with another 3. Top order wickets, really important stuff. Will O'Rourke gets 1. Henry 4 for 29. Goodness me, that's good. And Sri Lanka 209 all out on day 1. Yet again, for them, from their point of view, a disappointing batting display when you elect to bat first. We are a good ways ahead of this match, but that is also relying on us batting well in this first innings. Not a bad effort. It could have been better from New Zealand, but we do take a 96-run lead. We took about a 150-odd lead in the first test and blew it all with only like 1 or 2 wickets down, though, in that first test. So we're going to have to watch out here. Is 96 runs enough? We're not entirely sure, but Latham, a great 100 there, his 15th versus country versus Sri Lanka. That's his 6th ton now. 78 versus Sri Lanka here. Bracewell, he is the player to thank, though, here. He gets 56 of 85, with Matt Henry 31 not out of 78, chipping in between them, pushing the lead up after we had a big collapse. We had a big collapse in the middle. We were 2 for 187, but quickly found ourselves 6 for 210. put together 68 for the 8th wicket. Rajitha gets 4 wickets. Jayasuriya gets 3 for 88 in 36.5 overs, bowling very well there. Can we not find ourselves chasing a whole lot in the last innings? Because that would be really beneficial to this game here. Oh, yes, please. Good work from New Zealand here. If only we could do this good in real life. Maybe it's my management. Maybe we're just getting really lucky. I don't know. But this is going really well. So smooth for an overseas tour. It's going to be a whitewash, you'd think. 73 runs ahead is all Sri Lanka can muster. 169 all out in the 3rd innings. It's not even turning that much either. Ajaz Patel, though, 4 for 44, causing all sorts of problems. Under 2 and over. Will O'Rourke, 3 for 40. And looking down the batting, Karunaratne got another start, 39. Ajaz Patel picking him up. That was a big wicket. He actually got 3 of the top 5. Ajaz Patel, with O'Rourke getting the other 2. So they were both excellent. Just a little bit of tail wag there, but nothing that New Zealand would be overly concerned with. And it looks like we only have 74 to win on day 3 here. Can we knock it off in a hurry and claim a series sweep against Sri Lanka away from home? Surely this is historic. Well, nothing's happened just yet, but I just wanted to check the predictor, and look at that. You're not going to see. Oh, look at that. Gives Sri Lanka a 0.4%, 0.5% chance of winning this one. And I think with some leg buys here, Kane will come back for 2. 72 for 1. Just Conway being the only one dismissed. And New Zealand win by a whopping 9 wickets here. Conway gets 32. Latham 36 not out. Kane with 2 not out. Job is done. Matt Henry gets the player of the match with his 4 for 29 and his 2 for 50. And we win by 9 wickets despite losing the toss on this match and the one before. We win the series 2-0. This is a great start to the series. Just forget about the series against Afghanistan. Great comeback because now we've won 2-0 and we've actually got ourselves an extra point on the world ratings here. 1 point for a series win. Well, it actually doesn't put us anywhere different. We're currently still 5th in the world, but it doesn't put us any lower. And more importantly, actually, haven't thought about it until this moment, kept our World Test Championship final hopes alive with 2 back-to-back wins. Matt Henry's in the all-rounders list as well. Look at that. We have now branched away from Gary Stead's real-life New Zealand here because we've won 5 out of our 8 games. It's an extra 2 games that New Zealand will not win in real life. And we're now at 62.5%, which is the same as Australia. And we also got an achievement. You won a test series. Fantastic stuff. This is a great start, I have to say. Simulating forward, it's another 2 weeks before we go against India here. So let's see what the squad's going to look like moving forwards. No changes to the squad as we take on India, I don't think. Yep, no changes indeed across the board. Honestly, no reason to. We are very much aware of the challenge we are about to face. We're going in with the same team again against India here. Conditions state it's going to turn, but we've got plenty of spinners to counter that. We've got the 2 paces in the mix as well. Let's see how we go against India here. Only real surprise in their lineup, to be honest, is Rinku Singh coming in at number 6, I believe that is. Averaging 54, though. That's pretty impressive stuff. No Jadeja. I have to say that is a surprise. They've only gone the 4 bowling options as well. Is that going to come back and haunt India? We'll have to wait and see, though. We're going to call heads and win the toss. Yes, finally. I think it's a good opportunity to bat first. Predictor still sees India miles ahead, though. 64% going into this test series. Well, it could have gone better. It could have gone better. It could have gone much worse. Could have gone much worse. Ravindra, 54. Top 3 didn't really get going. Daryl Mitchell. Form slump. Reverse now. He has not scored 100 in a long time. His match form was down to 13%. Don't worry, he comes out, scores a big 170 of 322. 24s, 2 6s. And helps guide us to 343 all out when we were really struggling for any other scores of substance. Just couldn't really get runs elsewhere. Kuldeep Yadav gets 7 for 103. He's very good in this game. And it's shown here today. Kohli bowls 4 overs. So I did talk about that 5th bowler problem that they've got. And it really did show there. Bumrah, nice 2 for 77. Props to Kuldeep Yadav, who takes a career best 7 for 103. We put up 343 though. Where does that see us on a predictor right now? Still behind the game. Well, that did not exactly go to plan. 503 for 9 declared for India. To be fair, we would have wrapped up Shami or Bumrah pretty much any over after they declared, but they've decided to pull the pin, which is an interesting move. Fair enough. I guess Numbers 10 and 11, not much more to gain. Rinku Singh, 96 off 101. It was really set up by that top 4. Got away from us very early on, and we just could not break through very quickly with the paces. Willow Rook 2 for 151, going at 4s. Henry 2 for 113. We did actually drop Shaman Gill as well when he was only on about 20 runs. That's not going to help our cause, I've got to say. We did actually collapse them pretty quick towards the end. That is definitely a massive positive, but yeah, just could not find wickets with the spin. Ajaz Patel also struggled to get breakthroughs, 2 for 115. It was always going to be a challenge. So I guess I'm disappointed, but not overly surprised. Kohli makes a ton. It's been a long time coming. He makes his 30th. Good for his sake. Bad for New Zealand here, who currently trail by 160. Predictor states, look at that, 12.5%. So, an interesting spot we're in right now. 187 ahead, 347 for 6. Brilliant ton from Kane. Starts from Conway, who got 45. Ravindra, 33. Blundell was unlucky to be run out for 12. Glenn Phillips, very good, 42 off 77, not out so far. And Daryl Mitchell bowled towards the end of the day, but 62 of 147. The question remains for us here. What do? Could be a draw. I don't actually know if I want to declare. I think we could end up just getting bowled out. New Zealand give themselves a chance. Glenn Phillips gets 58. Another test match, 50 for him. He's coming off some pretty decent form right now. Bracewell with a nice 30 there as well. And we've got a lead of 248, 249 to win across 2.5 sessions for India. I think India are still favourites. Is that what the game's stating? Very much so. 81%. The pitch just hasn't worn as much as both sides probably would have wanted it to, especially us, given the fact that we are bowling last on this pitch, and given the fact that India are batting last. Nonetheless, we're going to just have to do what we can, really. Oh, it was so close. It was so close. We actually ran India right down to the wire. Rinku Singh, 33 not out. Shubman Gill, 96. I think we dropped Jaiswal, and he makes 53. And in the end, that could be the difference. He was on about 20 odd, so cost us 30 odd runs. Oh, that's frustrating. India win by 3 wickets, though. They get the job done in the end. It was rather nervy towards the end, though. They required 34 more runs with only 3 wickets in hand, but they got the job done. It was really just Will O'Rourke and Ajaz Patel bowling their hearts out. Ajaz gets 5 for 86. Great work from him. And just could not quite squeeze out a win. Not far away, though, New Zealand. We do go down in the first test match, but I have to say we're competitive. We're very, very competitive in this series. Interesting stuff. So I think we're going to bring in Tim Southee. I think he's going to come back. Take the captaincy back, fair enough. See how he stacks up against Will O'Rourke, and then see kind of how the comparison feels moving forwards. Tom Blundell is a worry, 19.5 as the keeper. Conway's also only averaging 27, but I feel like he'll fight through it. Again, we'll have to just wait and see. Otherwise, everyone's batting averages is actually very impressive. I think we're batting relatively well when compared to our opposition. It's just we need to probably improve our ability with the ball. Pretty much the same sort of pitch. Looks very, very good up top, and it's going to obviously wear and tear as the test match goes on. So, let's see how we go then with Southee instead of O'Rourke. Same lineup for India, it looks like. So, one change for us. Heads is the call. It's only a matter of time because we did win the last one. So, we're going to bowl first. This is not going to be very good, I don't think. And the predictor agrees with me on that front. 21.5%. Predicted inning score of 454. Good luck to our bowlers then. Well, we'll get back to the scorecard in a minute here, but look at this dismissal. I've never seen that before. One more replay of it. He's gone to, edge it and just... Oh, the keeper's taken it so fast. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, about what they get in the end. No one gets 100. We see how many individual 50s? 4 individual 50s. Everyone in the entire innings makes 10 or more. That sort of pitch at that sort of stage in the innings, really tough stuff for us. 3 for Southee, who gets 3 for 92. Probably the pick of the bowlers, actually. And in fact, he was the pick of the bowlers. Matt Henry, 3 for 126. Ajaz, 2 for 101. Bracewell with 2 wickets, but as I pushed him to be in a more aggressive role, was unable to pick up any more. 427 is what they make. It's going to be a tough ask again here. It's going to be like that this first season, that's for sure, against India especially. But let's see how we can compete in the first innings. And New Zealand end up 556 all out after 172.5 overs. I've got to say, that's actually really crazy that we've managed to get that many runs. I will say the pitch still hasn't deteriorated. A lot of these pitches in India right now just seem to be quite good for batters. Not really spinning as much as perhaps both sides would want it to, considering the fact that they've got 2 broadcast spinners in Kuldeep Yadav and Ashwin, who want the ball to be turning square because then they can knock us over. Not really the case at the moment. Shami gets 4 for 119. Bumrah 3 for 133. Kuldeep 3 for 180. Look at that though. Starts all the way down, and let's go through it because Conway makes his 5th Test match century, and I believe, if I double check, versus country, I believe that's his first against India. Yes, it is. Return to form for him at last, you would say. Williamson, a nice start for 40. Ravindra, 67, holds out to the deep. Mitchell looked good for 57 as well. Blundella, counter-attacking, 73 there. Phillips, 53. Bracewell, 67. Matt Henry, 52. I mean, that's got to be some sort of New Zealand record right there because we've hit 100, 60, so that's a 50. So 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. That's literally 6 50s on the bounce, down the batting order. That has to be a record. Matt Henry also hits a 50. His 5th Test match half century. We're now 129 ahead. I don't see it being a whole lot of a difference maker on the match, although apparently Cricket Captain begs to differ. Hello, hello. You wouldn't believe it if you saw it on the screen because I can't believe it either. Ajaz Patel, what have you done? Goodness me, 7 for 24? What is happening? I know he's good in India, but my word, is that a performance and a half. Obviously, can't beat his best of 10 for 119, but goodness me, does that go a long way. It's insane. That still has to be on the records card for New Zealand for sure. That has completely changed the complexion of this game here. That is, what, they lead by 14. So New Zealand need 15 to win. Literally, we can't lose. Unbelievable bowling display from New Zealand, and New Zealand are going to claim a first win in India since I could not tell you when, because it's been so long since we've won a test match in India, and we are about to square the series. Huge moment. New Zealand wrap it up in style. 10-wicket win. Comfortable. Ajaz Patel, the player of the match. New Zealand square the series with 1 to play. Remember, this is the Indian side who are number 1 in the world right now. This is a huge victory. Can we back it up, though? Honestly, it's going to be tough. It is coming down to the wire in the Test Championship for New Zealand. That win, historic, by the way. I think it is the first time New Zealand have won in India at least a Test match in over 34 years, around 35 years. 1988/89 season was the last time that New Zealand won a Test match in India, as far as I know. I don't see it getting any better than it currently is, so let's take a look and guess and see if this lineup can get the job done again against India. They have made a change, and it's a big one. Jadeja into the mix instead of Kuldeep Yadav. Here we go then. Heads is the call. Toss is so important. Oh, yes, it's a very good start for New Zealand. We'll take batting first. Thank you very much. Well, 342, so not as high as we would have wanted. Latham, nice 76 there. Conway gets a start. Kane, 66 off 201. It was a theme that we really struggled to score at a quick pace. Bracewell, nice 36. Tim Sally, 27, chips in at the end. I don't know if that's going to be enough for a first innings total. Jadeja is the key player. Key change for them, 5 for 85. Yeah, that didn't go to plan. We had a lot of good patches with the ball, but when it went bad, it went pretty bad. Sarfaraz Khan hits a massive ton, 172. Gill got 80, Colley got 68, Punt 52, Jadeja 73. We're a long way behind the game. But yeah, we struggled towards the end there. Bracewell, though, gets a surprise 5 for 77. Cleans up 4 wickets at the back end, as well as getting Gill. So, fantastic stuff there. Hard to see us finding a way back from here. Draw is possible, though. 11%. Okay. Interesting times. A great partnership between Kane and Blundell. Blundell brings up a test match century, his 5th. It's been a long time. He didn't hit one last year. Look at that, averaging 9. Could they get 216 in 45 overs? Yes, they can. Could they get 216 on a turning pitch in 45 overs? I don't know. I want to give it a go, but I'm also very scared of losing this test match. So, I'm going to slog it out for one more over. Oh, there you go. It's given us a 1% chance of a win. It's most likely going to be a draw, this game said. So, I guess we're going to try and declare, just see what happens. I probably don't expect much, to be honest. Given India 222 to win with 3 hours left in the day, or actually now well underneath, on a turning pitch, so they're going to probably struggle. Then again, they didn't actually do that well with taking wickets. Either have I made a bad call? We're going to wait and see. I got 5 wickets, but it's not going to be enough. Going to go down in this test match. It's one of those situations where it's like, I could see a win and also see a loss. But I thought, why not go for it? Why not see what happens? And yeah, I mean, we had 10 minutes left, and we had them in patches. Now, I think I backed our bowlers a little bit too much there. Should have just taken the draw. But I guess it could be worse. We were definitely in that game. We were not smashed by India. And that series was actually a lot less of a disaster than it probably should have been in many ways. So you know what? We can still hold our heads high. We've done okay. Let's now see where everything else lands around us. Oh dear. This is going from bad to worse, unfortunately. Not only did we lose that game, Australia beat India in the first test match, so that is not a good start whatsoever. We're up against England, though, 3 test matches. If we can't make the World Test Championship final, then we're going to look at doing some development, I think, later in this England series. Thus, for the side, pretty much no changes. We've just kind of pushed a lot of the players who are sitting on the bench back to domestic cricket. Players like Tom Bruce, Mitchell Satner, to get some more form to come back into the team. Otherwise, gone with the bulk of our team. I guess the surprise selection here is Ajaz Patel's retained his spot. We will indeed actually go ahead and change the pitch to a seamer's pitch. That's always good. Oh my goodness me. Do I wish maybe I should have selected an extra seamer. So, for the first test match of the summer at home, we're going to make the difficult call, actually, to go with Michael Bracewell over Glenn Phillips. That is a big call. They've got very similar batting stats. It's the bowling which has really let me down, or at least let Phillips down here in this case this year. Latham 57.5. So we've got some good batting going at the moment. Our batting is definitely not letting us down. It is our bowling. Josh Bohannon makes his test debut at number 3. Interesting call there immediately from the Bazball side here. We're going to bowl first, thank you. Okay, so what is going on there? We got smashed around the park. Bazballed, all right. The first 2/3 of this day was a disaster. Ben Duckett, 121 off 149. Crawley was smashing it. Bohannon on debut, 132 not out. Pope 39. And then in the last session, we just went crazy. They just started nicking them to the slips. After Joe Root got RBW, it was pretty much 5 or 6 slip catches in a row. Mitchell gets 3 in an over. Best bowling figures for him. In fact, that's half his test match tally. Henry gets 5 for 95, which is great effort because we were getting really punished up top. I really would have expected Will O'Rourke to be a much bigger force in this game so far, and he just hasn't been. I'm quite surprised by that. I thought he was going to be the sort of Kyle Jamieson of this game and really be rocking the house down, but maybe that's Cricket Captain 2025, maybe one game too soon for him. And Ajaz Patel took tap. Yeah, it wasn't a great time for him. I've tried him at home. It already doesn't seem that great. The pitch is already wearing down. If our batting can hold up in tough conditions, we might still be able to stay in this match. Yeah, that didn't go well. We had a lot of starts as well. Lots of promising innings there. Kane and Blundell looked particularly promising, but got out. It was a pretty tough time. And honestly, it was just one player. Wood. He got 7 for 52. And we get cleaned up for 182. Not enough to follow on, though, but enough for England to basically have total command of this test match. And it doesn't go a plan again. Our bowling is just really shoddy at the moment. 148 for Crawley, 179 for Bohannon. He gets twin hundreds. In fact, he basically gets 300 runs, getting out once against us. We also did drop Bohannon twice, by the way, in the first innings. And I think we also did drop Ollie Pope as well. So we had 3 drops in the first innings, which did not help our cause. Tried a whole bunch of bowlers as well. It just didn't really work out. And Ajaz Patel has not been at all good against Bazball. It's done. This test match is done for all money. Kane's valiant effort ends. He's the last player out. Everyone else, just look at that. It was a pretty interesting scorecard. Pretty much from number 4 to number 10. Everyone makes 10, but nothing more than that. Crazy stuff. Kane, 89. Will O'Rourke, 4 not out. England win by a large margin, and our World Test Championship hopes are probably over. This is where my management style is going to come in a little bit different here. We need some help. So I've gone Zach Folkes, who this year averages 21. So it's pretty good stuff in the first class scene. He can also bat a bit. Josh Bohannon's averaging 311. There you go. Definitely set some records there. Lend him into the mix. So I think they've gone 2 spinners. They've got rid of Rihan Ahmed. Won the toss. Definitely have to bat first in these conditions. 326. So it's not as much as we would have wanted. The good news is this pitch is already deteriorating. Big time. You can see that England picked 2 spinners, and now I can see why. The pitch is uneven already on day 2. Conway 44. Kane 86. He'll be disappointed to miss out on 100 there. Ravindra gets a nice 77 as well. Mitchell 55 stranded, but did very well. Zach Folkes, though, did hit a 6 off his first ball in Test cricket, which probably is some sort of record for sure. So there you go. Well done to him there. But 326 is a decent total still on a pitch which is definitely wearing. James Anderson, 42 years of age. Still got it. Okay, we'll take that. We will take that. They were really good in patches, England. Ben Duckett 61, Root 82. Ben Stokes got run out for 50 towards the end there. That is a big moment. But in the end, we take a 40-run lead. Again, on a pitch that is wearing, but we didn't really find a whole lot of success with spin. Having said that, of course, I bowled 5 overs of spin. So I'm not really helping myself out, but I did find a lot of encouragement through the seamers. Southey nearly picked up his first fifer in a long time. Henry 3 for 50. Folkes, his first 2 test wickets. His first one was Ben Duckett. We only get 222 in the end. Ravindra 48, Mitchell 48, Blundell 33, Bracewell 31. 4 for 59 for Mark Wood, 4 for Anderson. Don't think it's enough. 263 for England. Predictor has them well in front, but not by a large margin. But 60% still good enough, really. New Zealand have done it! We win by 49. Yes, the bowlers came to the party. England lose. What a win that was. They were favourites to win that. It was still going to be a tough chase, but we've got the job done. Even though they were none for 63. Will O'Rourke, 4 for 45, tears through the middle order. He's been out of form for a long time. Look at that. That is very good to see. Folkes gets another 2 here. He gets both Bohannon and Pope out. Henry gets 1, Southey gets 3, and Will O'Rourke the star there with 4. Ravindra gets player of the match for his 77 and 48. Interesting scenes there, I suppose. Southey got 7. As we end up winning by 49 runs. A very good victory against England to square the series back 1 apiece. That was a great test match win, though. We got Will O'Rourke some wickets, Ravindra got runs, and Folkes got wickets as well. The future is bright for New Zealand cricket. Really good stuff. Now that we're out of the World Test Championship, basically, and with Blundell dipping in form, I've made the biggest call yet of the series so far. We've dropped Blundell. He's one I've been keeping my eye on. And this season hasn't really failed too many times in a row across the 9 games he's played, averaging 52 and 42 in the 2 formats. He just looks like a better batter than Blundell has been of late. He's averaging 20 in this series at the moment. Let's give Mitch Hay a debut. Let's give him the gloves, and let's see how he can cope with the international pressure here. Josh Bohannon is still averaging 118.33. Gonna have to watch out for the big threat of Ben Duckett, who's doing pretty well this year, averaging 60. Won the toss, definitely going to bat first. And it's an under par total considering where we were. Brilliant hundreds from Conway and Kane. Conway brings up a 7th test century there. Kane, his 36th, averaging 56 now. Unbelievable stuff from him. We just kind of collapsed after that, though. I say not good enough just because we were 1 for 230. Kane and Conway, 209. Go big together. It still likes us in front of this game, though. 48-run lead. Okay, tricky, though. The bounce is erratic. This really does suit England. 48-run lead, but again, they bat pretty good. Crawley 44, Pope 53, off 53 as well. Good strike rate. Of course, Bazball up against it. Root 41, Smith 49, Ben Stokes 46. That's 4 40s, which is a miracle. Tell you what, though, Will O'Rourke, what a star. 6 for 60 for his best figures so far in Test cricket. There you go. 10 wickets in 2 innings. Delivering on the potential that we definitely have seen in him before. Folkes, none for 60. 48 runs. How much in front can we get? And Ratchin's the last player out for 63. A brilliant knock. Because I tell you what, this pitch is terrible. It's erratic bounce, turning wicket. It's only day 4. It is a real big turner. And England have done a pretty good job at restricting us to 257. But having said that, I went aggressive towards the end because the predictor literally said that England have a 10% chance to win here. It is that bad. Mark Wood gets 4. Anderson gets 4. Only 1 for the spinners. We are massive favourites because, as I said, this pitch is a minefield. Can we bowl them out on this minefield and secure a series win? There it is! New Zealand claim a win! And we win this series 2-1. What a comeback in the series. We were miles behind in that first game. Absolutely thumped. We've come back and we've won big here. 106-run win. Matt Henry goes wild. 7 for 65. An all-time record 4 matches against England for New Zealand here. Pitch was doing all sorts. Bowlers were finding it relatively easy, at least a couple of our bowlers. Folks might need to go away and do some work, perhaps. Had a tough test match there with both bat and ball, but New Zealand win by 106. Conway, the player of the match, getting 85 and 107 there. Fantastic batting from him. And New Zealand win the series 2-1. Beautiful stuff. So we've only dropped 3 games since we've begun this series, beating Sri Lanka 2-0, losing to India 2-1, where perhaps we could have actually drawn it 1-1, and now winning 2-1 here against England, which is a very good win against the Baz Ballers. It does see us in 4th. We expected that. We probably dropped 1 too many games in this cycle, at least under my leadership, to make it. So we're going to continue on. What else is going to happen? And that's the end of the year, but believe it or not, Bangladesh in my save goes on to win the Champions Trophy. Who ended up the most runs in the season? It was, of course, Kane Williamson, 943 at 67.36. Otherwise, with the wickets, Matt Henry, 45 at 27. We really would love to see better numbers. But that is going to be it for our first episode of this extended series, everyone. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like. And definitely let me know down in the comments below what you think of this series. What moves could I have done better? Which test matches were you impressed by or not impressed by? I did make a lot of mistakes. I also did a lot of good things. Plenty to work on as we move into the second year for our New Zealand test side here, as we hope to get back on top of the rankings. In fact, we should check where we sit right now. We're 100 points up. So I think we started on about 83. So we're 20 ranking points up from where we started. Kane Williamson, the best batter in the world right now. You'll love to see it. James Anderson's still the best bowler. Matt Henry up there in 5th though. And Matt Henry also up there on the all-rounder list, which is definitely a shock to see. Subscribe for more Cricket Captain 2024 content coming very soon, of course, everyone. And until next time, take care.